Welcome back to Chevy Chase Farm. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it, and it helps the channel. I did run the freezer beef through the scales, through our corral and through the scales. Got some weights on both the freezer beef that's about 24 months old that will be going to processor here later this fall, as well as the freezer beef for next year. I am filming this intro at the end of my week, and I can tell you the weights were very impressive considering they've been raised up on grass only. I've also got my baby chicks through the first week. We'll show getting some weights on those and how they've progressed over the past 7 days. I've got the field behind me. This is where the chickens would go to pasture first. So we've got that ready to go. Have ran the cattle through there. We'll bring the sheep in, and then the chickens will go on to pasture here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to take advantage of this cool morning, and also the fact that on my rotational move today, I'm going from the back part of the farm up towards the front part, and that means that I move right through the corral. So while we're here, I'm going to try to get some weights. Freezer beef. We've got 3 different types of cows in here. I've got the 2022 freezer beef. These are steers that I've had for about 24 months, and they will be ready to be processed in latter part of October, November, and December. Then I have the freezer beef for next year that I've had for about 8 to 10 months. They will continue to grow out on grass. Then I have 3 cows here that will be made into whole animal ground beef over the next probably 4 to 5 months. I am by myself, so we'll see how this goes. All I'm trying to do is get weights on them and see how they're progressing. Another job, obviously a lot easier with more than one person. Here are the weights on the steers. Right here are the 5 for basically November delivery. My goal was by the time we got to November, they were at 1,100 pounds. You can see I've got 2, number 5, number 59 are already at 1,100 or over. The other 3 will absolutely be there by that point. Here is the 2023 freezer beef. There are 8 of them, everywhere from 950 pounds down to 635. I am not surprised that these are performing even better. I'm going to have some I thought would be ready next November, but some of these are going to be ready probably in May of next year. That number 84 at 635 is just not performing on grass the way I want, so I will probably move him out. The baby chicks are exactly 1 day old today. They're doing really good. They were huddled around a couple of the feeders, so I added some more so they had some more space. Temperature's been fine. It's been hot today. We had some rain, so it's a little cooler, about 80 degrees out. I am only running 2 of the lights. They've been spread out really nicely here in the brooder. I'm up here right now, it's kind of got them pushed to the sides. But let's get 1 week's weights on these birds. I do get weights once a week on the chicks. I measure an average of usually about 10% of the birds, and I also keep track daily of how much feed they consume. So you'll notice right here, these are the incoming weights in grams. On average, it was about 31 grams per chick. And in feed, last week they ate 31.2 pounds of feed. Now I will get their week 1 weights for these chicks that I just randomly picked out. $108 grams. You can see these chicks, they're still not really feathered out or feathering out yet. You can see on their wings, they're starting to get feathers there, but everywhere else they still have the down. So here's my weights. I weighed 15 birds, just eyeballing it. I would say on average somewhere between 80 to 84. Basically doubled to the point of almost tripling in size in 7 days. I do have a wide range here. My biggest was 108 grams and my smallest was 70 grams. I assume that's because I have straight run chicks here, so you have hens and you have roosters, and the roosters generally are going to grow faster. Here's what they look like without me running them into the corners. You see they're spaced out nicely. For this week I lost 1 bird and it felt like it got smothered. That takes me from 204 that I started with, I'm at 203. Don't have any birds that I would say that look sickly. They all look like they're doing really good. If you've watched my prior videos, you've seen the Hornets Cross on Pasture, which I'm extremely happy with their performance, and they absolutely forage. But I will say that when they hit the pasture, it takes them a few days to figure it out, and they're going on pasture in about 3 weeks. These chicks right here are 9 days old, and I just kind of put them here in the yard to watch them, and they already just naturally know more about foraging than the Hornets Cross do. I appreciate you watching. I hope the video was interesting. Maybe you learned something. As always, if you have any questions, by all means, leave me a comment, send me a private message. More than happy to answer any and all the questions I get. You can find out more about the farm and what we have going on here at www.chubbychasefarm.com. I hope you all have a great week.